What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Hustle House live streaming 3D printing. Trying to figure out the name still, but we'll get there. I think right now we're in the middle of a rebranding process. It's half the fun of exploration and creativity, but we were 3D printing again, so figured we'd share the excitement that we have of constantly 3D printing with the live stream audience here. So today we're going to be printing 2 Gridfinity bins, still working on the Gridfinity grid. At the end I'll do a recap video showing you guys all the Gridfinity bins and the coffee table that we're filling with the Gridfinity items. But I mean, it's coming along really well, really well. Very excited to see it come together, but you know, it takes a while to print these bins. Ran out of the PETG and the PLA filament, 1 kilogram spool each, printed through both of those. Now we are on the 0.25, what is it called? High-speed PLA that came with the Adventure 5M Pro. This is kind of like a blue-gray, shiny filament, so excited to print with that. We're going to print a 4x1 Gridfinity bin, as well as a 2x2 ring holder that is also Gridfinity. So very excited about that. Feel free to leave any questions. I'll be hanging out over the first hour of this print. On the screen it'll show how long it'll print. I'll be going back and forth between this and a few other things because part of it is making sure that this print is going well. But very excited to bring this channel back, guys. We're going to be doing some more shorts that have a lot more exploration and depth of you know, what is it like to switch out the filament. I did a video on that, which I'm going to edit and put up later. What do you do? I don't know. What do you do when you're low on filament and you still want to print? I'll share a little video on what I did there later. But very excited to just see how this comes along. We're going to be doing other stuff, exploring other parts on this channel as well, talking about all sorts of different things, having some interviews on here, talking about things I find interesting and all that. So right now we are printing a Gridfinity bin that's going to be a 4x1. So that way we can put, I think for that one it'll be like a bunch of matches are going to go in it to organize our smoking stuff. And then we're doing a Gridfinity ring holder. So it's going to be three little pegs essentially where you can place your rings. So my girlfriend's going to start to print some boxes for her jewelry stuff. We are loving the organization that we're getting with the Gridfinity system, realizing how much clutter you hold on to, and once you everything with a place, you know, and a purpose, it cleans up really, really nicely. So if you guys are interested in us printing anything else, feel free to leave recommendations. Hey, appreciate the sub and the like. No, we just got this, and I say we, my girlfriend and I just got this Adventure 5M Pro Flash Forge for Christmas. I don't think we've stopped printing one day since we've got it. It's been super addictive, super fun, and printed all sorts of different stuff. But I think what I've learned is we've had this for a week now. I'll probably do like, you know, what I've learned in the first 7 days of 3D printing type of video, walk people through what I've learned. Probably do that as I go on a 30-day and such. But I don't know, I'm loving it. This Flash Forge machine is pretty sick. I've had no complaints. There's a camera in it. What was the longest you printed something? 8 hours. We did a MF Doom print where we printed an MF Doom mask. I actually have that on my channel if you want to go look for that at some point. Oh, you know what? Fuck, I don't have that on the channel because that was before we started doing that. But the MF Doom mask was pretty sick. We ended up spray painting it. That was interesting. That was the first time we used supports, and the supports were a little challenging. You know, part of what I'll put in that, what I learned in the first 7 days, when you do supports and you let them sit, it gets really solid and it's really hard, and it almost doesn't pop off the way you would guess, right? and with a heat gun, it was able to pop right off. But I didn't know that, so I used a Dremel. What up, what up? Appreciate you coming through. I used a Dremel, but I didn't know that Dremel worked, but you know, a heat gun would have been better. So little things like that you learn. This print right here, what I have loved also that we've learned is you can print multiple different things on the plate. Basically whatever you can fit on your, you know, your slicer, right? And so we're using Flash Forge Orca slicer. That's been really cool. My uncle prints stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's a really fun thing. I think eventually everyone's gonna have one of these in their house. I don't really see why people wouldn't. It's kind of a useful thing, right? And like the most useful thing right now has been the Gridfinity thing to me. But simultaneously, like we just did this a little bit ago and made a clip holder and a cable holder out of a little clip, you know, and it's like the little filament. So that's pretty neat. You can make all kinds of stuff like that. Make sure this is focused. It's just, I think 3D printers are super fun. I think everyone should have one at some point. Yo, do I get an M5 or an M5 Pro? You know, I like the M5 Pro because it has a contained unit. I wanted the container more than anything. I thought having a contained unit, and when I say that, meaning like this has a front door. This has a top loading unit, so like I could open it like that, right? So there's some parts of this that I thought were pretty cool. Let me show you actually the top print right now. Hold on. So this is pretty cool. Starting to print the base. And so because it's a Gridfinity, for anyone that doesn't know what a Gridfinity is, it's these little grids that pop into a bigger grid. But they're all squares on the bottom, you know, a grid, right? Square within a square, so they lock in. What it starts with right now, this is a 4x1. It's just doing the squares, and then it'll build it up higher and higher and higher over time. But I like the Adventure 5N Pro. As I said, it was a gift, so I'm not super sure about the price. Let me adjust the camera, bear with me, but I'm loving the machine. I think the machine's super sick. I've had a ton of fun with it. Let's see. Yeah, that might be a little bit better for everybody. I'm thinking I can print an enclosure and a cheap webcam. Yeah, I mean, that's real. There is a webcam inside here that comes in the Adventure Pro. It's cool. It works majority of the time, not all the time, sometimes. I watch it when I'm printing, like in another room, just to see what it's like. But I also tend to have a live stream going of my own. I just like to monitor the print to know how it's going, to make sure that it's working correctly, you know. Appreciate you saying you're gonna watch some of the videos. You know, bear with me. This channel is 12 years old, and took a little hiatus off of creating YouTube content, mainly because I work full time in socials, doing stuff for a company that I love. But I feel like this is really fun to share and explore, and I think what I'm going to do going forward is make more videos about curiosities, things that I'm interested in, hopefully finding more people out there that are interested in it as well, and go from there. Because, you know, in the world we live in, sometimes I want to do crafts. I don't want to think about the craziness of what's going on in the world. I want to get caught up being creative and you know, hopefully make some content that makes people have a little fun, you know, not think about things that are so serious, and I don't know, just have fun. I'm thinking, but we'll need the ventilation or something. Is it worth it then for the nearly double extra cash just to have an enclosure and cool case? You know, that's a personal choice, right? And like I said, this was a gift, so I don't know. What I do know is that when I was researching machines, I wanted an enclosed machine the entire time. And so that was kind of the base of what I was looking for. You know, I was exploring machines that were enclosed because that's what I thought would work well for me. But if you think, one being open like that is a good solution for you, then hey, that's a great solution for you. I think eventually, like I've only had this machine not even a month, not even probably 2 weeks, and I'm absolutely going to get another machine at some point in the future. It's one of those things where it's super addictive, but also a lot of these things are time consuming, right? So, like this print for 2 objects is going to take an hour and 25 minutes. I think the filter is monthly for ABS and furniture films. Hey, thanks, French Bulldog TV. I don't know. I think watching these prints is so relaxing for me. Like I get kind of lost just staring at it. So I figure we're gonna do live streams of these. I think a lot of people love just watching them. I think for me, it gives them multiple purposes of sharing things that I'm interested, finding some like-minded people who are into 3D printing as well. We're going to start to have a little bit more tailored shorts going out where, like I said earlier, it's like, what do you print when you're low on filament? We made a video and we'll show you what we did. How do you change the filament? Ooh, that got loud. And that's part of the benefit of the door, right? Is like it got, hey, see ya, man. Appreciate you coming through. When it's loud like that, you can just close click the encasement. But if it's open, it's a bit louder. So that's another thing to consider. I'll try my $70 printer first and see if I like 3D printing, but it's No, I mean, if it's on your way and you already have it coming, hey, just have fun with it and make the best of it. I think of 3D printer as much like a paintbrush. It's like it's not necessarily about like, oh, the machine or whatever. I think the machines matter, but I think at the same time it's like, how do you use it? What are you going to print with it? How do you want to have fun with it? So I'm very excited that I have this machine. I think there's so many cool machines out there, and whatever you end up with, just have fun. Feel free to come back, share your journey with us. If I like it enough, I'll buy the 5M Pro or 5M. Yeah, I think that's a good way to do it too. Is test it, see if you like it. A lot of people buy things, and 30 days in, they're over it, right? So you want to make sure that you're coming back, that you're enjoying this, that this is something that's holding your attention. I'm loving it. I honestly, I think I'll be printing nonstop. I think this will be something that I do a lot. My girlfriend and I have been printing nonstop, having fun. Yesterday, we were trying to put up a hummingbird feeder we got, and for the first time, we were like, "Oh, we can print something to make the mount better. Suit our needs more specifically, right? You need something custom. Oh, cool, we can create it now." So that's a very exciting part of the 3D printer journey. It's funny right now how it just looks like it's printed 6 squares, but like I said, it's for a Gridfinity box, so it's the beginning of the grid part of the boxes. The 2 boxes in front will be one piece, and the 4 in the back will be one piece as well. If you guys don't mind, go ahead and hit the likes and subscribe button for me. It's nice to have new people showing up every day. I think what I'll do now, whenever we do these live streams, is I'll hang out for probably at least the first hour of these as often as I can. Make sure that I'm sharing any thoughts or learns or, here to answer questions, let people know what we're doing. I find it fascinating to watch this, so I appreciate anyone who tunes in and watches with me. There's something very, very relaxing about watching these for some reason. But I think right now, excited to see this print. I think what's fun is watching a time lapse later. I'm definitely going to grab this video and speed it up and maybe make it into a short. Different perspective. I know it doesn't look as impressive right now because, like I said, it's just 5 squares. But I think that's kind of the fun of the 3D printer, is finding things that you find are interesting and then starting to create based on it. So, like for us, we have a coffee table that lifts up with a component underneath that you can store things in. And the first thought we had was like, let's use that as an experiment and create a Gridfinity setup for it. And we had to print some custom stuff to make it work. I think what I'll do is I'll add the description of that website to this video, so if anyone needs to make any custom Gridfinity stuff, they'll be able to find it. It's cool. It's doing a pattern right now. Can you leave open and be able to sleep normally when it's running? I mean, we have this set up in a whole separate room on the opposite side of the house, so when the door's closed and the machine's open, like, I can't really hear it. So this is the difference with both machine doors open right now. You can see it's starting to set down the pattern. So that's pretty cool as it builds out the block in order to give it different, not different texture, but different strength. You can choose different patterns. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, but if you're curious, for not temperature, but volume, this is volume with both doors completely open right now. So not too bad. I'm going to not say anything for a second so you can hear it. It's not so bad. When you say, is there a benefit to Gridfinity versus a normal print? Gridfinity is a normal print. It's just a thing that you print, right? And so it's something that was designed to be able to put everything on a grid. You can create your own little boxes, your own little storage units, some very specific for very specific items, which I think is cool. But we've been exploring, having fun, but simultaneously learning and organizing using Gridfinity. So it is a little bit louder. I feel like I'm talking a little bit louder. Whoa. My bad. I gotta show you this pattern. Very cool. So it's starting to put down this second line, giving it a different texture, different pattern. The coolest thing we printed is the MF Doom mask. Like 100%. That's the coolest thing. It took 8 hours. It was super large. But I think what was cool about it too is that we set it up, printed it. That was great. We learned because it didn't come out like perfect, but then we used Dremel, we used other tools, we painted it. MF Doom was a musician who wore a mask that had like somewhat walrus tusks, so if you just Google MF Doom mask, you'll see what I'm talking about. But we printed it. It took 8 hours. That was like an overnight print. And then spray painted it, painted it a little bit. I'll show you. Maybe we'll do another one, like a second print at some point. It's just a lot of filament because it was 8 hours. But it was cool. Definitely liked it. We're going to leave this going for a little bit, guys. I think we got about an hour and 12 minutes left on this print. If you haven't already, give me a like if you don't mind. If you're new, feel free to sub. I think that's cool. I'm going to let this run for a bit. I like this angle. That's cool. And if you guys ever want me to print anything, you're welcome to send in any tips or however YouTube works, and I'd be willing to buy some filament with that and print stuff directly for you guys. So I feel like, a little fun for the community. If you guys supply me with filament, I'll print whatever and ship it to you that I can. Within reason, obviously. If it's not self-leveling, what does that mean for my $70 printer? I couldn't even tell you, bro. I didn't know that they had 3D printers that were $70. So I'm gonna guess that a $70 printer is gonna be filled with a lot of challenges. That just seems like the reality of it. You know, if you buy a piece of tech that's on the cheaper side, it's usually because they use cheaper materials. So, you know, just be cognizant. It might be better to save up for a machine that you think will last a little bit longer without any issue. But you never know. This $70 machine might be fantastic. Really don't know until you try it. And I'm not familiar with the machine, so couldn't tell you. Crazy. I love this machine. I'm really curious what the paper trick is. You gotta tell me what that is. I love these patterns. All right, this is cool. This is the fun part, I think, when it starts to see the base. I'll show you from above again what I'm talking about. So you can see here it starts to create these patterns that are really cool. But that gives it support is more what it is. Very neat. But you can see how it's in a grid, right? Like none of those pieces are touching each other. They're very close, but they're going to start to get closer as it fills the lines in so that it can become a solid piece. It's a very cool little part of the printing experience. As I say, the paper trick is like you use the paper as something. I don't know, but people say it's really easy to do. Okay, all right. I'm not sure what that means, but you know, circle back. Let me know how it goes. All right, so printer says we got about 56 minutes left. It's coming along pretty well, I think. Get in there a little closer, you can see it. It's pretty crazy how a 3D printer works. It's a little too close, I think. You guys let me know if you want me to change the shot or the angle at all. You can adjust it, get in closer. Or if this is too close, let me know also. Do me a favor, if you guys are hanging out, hit the like button so that more people can find this video and find these sorts of videos that I'll be putting out more often. Oh. I love this. I'm a big fan of this machine. Really enjoying how it's been used. This is a cool filament color that it's coming with. It's like this blue, black, sparkly color. Very pretty. Appreciate all you guys hanging out with us as we're live printing. I'm going to be doing this a lot more. I think it's super fun. Oh, this is cool. It's starting to bind them together and connect them. I'll show you that. Check it out. So you see how it's binded together right there? That's cool. So it's starting to become one piece. And just a second ago, those were all 4 separate cubes that I showed you, right? Because they're Gridfinity blocks. But now it's making them into a container. And then what's going to happen is it's going to do layering over that pattern to make it a solid unit, right? So very, very cool to see that happen. I love it. I love it. I think this 3D printer is so fucking cool. Sorry about that. That was weird. Had a little glitch there. Appreciate you hanging out, Rose. Feel free to subscribe if you want to. It's always amazing how fast this stuff goes. Like, it says it's taking an hour and a half, but I feel like it goes pretty fast. So back to what I was speaking about again. Why is it stuck? That was weird. Alright, bear with me. Alright, so now you're seeing on the grid, remember that pattern? It's completely closed and solid, except for there. That's where the ring mounts, the ring parts are, where you're going to put your rings. But pretty neat, right? So it's got those grids underneath. That'll snap into the grid plate really easily. Got our ring pieces being built. Coming along really well. Hey, appreciate that. Alright, alright. Sorry, I can't stop fucking with the camera. I'm trying to make it a better angle here. Alright. I'm done. This is cool. It's mesmerizing to watch. I love the color. It's really, really pretty blue. Now what it's going to do is start to build the walls of it. So it's still putting down the base layer of the floor of the box, you know. It's made the individual squares, which I showed you earlier. It's now making the base of the box. It's made it strong, sturdy with those supports that you saw within the individual squares. Now it's putting a base. And then once it's done with that, it'll start to build the walls. Now, I'm curious about the rings because it'll be building the walls while I'm assuming simultaneously building these little like pegs or nubs that you would put the rings on. So curious to see how that goes. But so far so good. It's coming along really nicely, and this color is super cool. Shout out to Flash Forge. That was the sample color quarter filament, quarter kilo of filament that they gave us. Not used to doing things in kilos. It's pretty sick. You know, I wish there was a way to show you multiple angles at once. Sometimes the top angle is better. Sometimes this front angle is the better of the two options. But I think right now this is a good shot. It's just kind of cool to see how it builds, you know, how close. Probably too close. I think that's good. If you guys don't like that shot, you want me to adjust the camera, let me know. Wow, that's cool. Alright, so I think it's going to start to build up the walls soon. Maybe it's doing one or two more layers. Yeah, I think that's what it's doing, one or two more layers here. And what's interesting too is each item doesn't necessarily print the same way. Like, they can be doing two different things completely, which is pretty fucking cool. Nice. The printer that I have here is a Flash Forge Adventure 5M Pro. Got gifted it for Christmas and have not stopped printing anything I feel like we haven't turned it off very much. We've gone through 2 full kilos now of filament. We're on just our quarter-kilo sample that we have left, and we ordered 6 spools of filament from Amazon about Wednesday, and it's Saturday now, and I think it'll be here tomorrow. So, once we get that filament, we'll print more, but just trying to sparingly print. But also these boxes for the grid, it's like you want them to fit something, you want them to have a purpose. You don't want to just make boxes just to make boxes. So part of it is simultaneously figuring out like what is it that you need while you're printing, right? So it's a delicate balance for sure.